My name is Paul Luna, and you're tuned into F&B Lunacy. I am here today with Chef Joey Zelinka. Joy, tell us about yourself.
Well, good, man. Where are you? In Switzerland?
I'm in Switzerland.
Nice. We need you back here.
I have a bad reputation, Joey.
That's okay. So do I.
Where are you now?
I'm not. I'm doing a little bit of catering work for TV shows and movies right now.
Okay.
Specifically the show Dynasty on Netflix. And yeah, I don't know. I've kind of grown disillusioned by the restaurant industry right now. Even before COVID, but then COVID kind of set it over the edge for me to just take a break right now. I didn't like where our industry was headed or where it was going, even before COVID. It's an industry where it takes so much from you and it can leave you with nothing. So here I am with, herniated discs in my back. I couldn't make it through the day without eating painkillers like candy. And now I'm left with a resume that has restaurants on it that don't even exist anymore. So I just I felt like it was time to take a break right now.
Do you cook at home now?
Oh yeah, I have 2 kids now, and that's another factor as well. As they're only this age for so long. I wanted to take advantage and be there before they become shitty teenagers and don't want anything to do with me.
What are their ages?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. So they have a while to go, Joey, before they become shitty teenagers.
Right. So I'm taking advantage while I can, instead of pumping it out in a restaurant. I'm cooking for them now.
Do they enjoy your cooking?
They do. They actually appreciate it more than anybody else, to be honest with
you. They're your best critics.
My biggest fans and my best critics. Absolutely.
Has cooking taught you anything, or did cooking teach you anything?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything. But there's so many lessons that can be learned and transferred over to just regular life, just from a proper saute or a proper braise. There's certain things that you learn cooking, those tiny nuances definitely carry over to life. Just mise en place in general, that you can apply that to any aspect of your life, no matter what. It's just a matter of whether or not you're receptive to those lessons.
What can we expect from Joey, not the chef, the person?
Brutal honesty.
Brutal honesty.
Yeah, probably to a fault.
In this time right now, is there anything that appeals to you, that you're working on, that you have thought of wanting to do?
Yeah, there definitely still is a goal there within the food industry. So I'm into like trading card and strategy games, Magic the Gathering and like Warhammer and stuff like that. So my goal is to open up a gaming shop with a kitchen in it.
A gaming shop with a kitchen?
Yeah. I play Magic the Gathering competitively. Not right now, obviously, because of coronavirus. But yeah, it's something that I'm passionate about it as well. So I wanted to combine the two, but it doesn't look like we're going to make it happen this year, just because I own an online shop called World of Realms. And we sell trading cards and other nerd stuff, toys, video games, and stuff like that. So we're just building the card sale business right now. And then we're going to look for a space.
So now for you, what's important in your life?
Family. Family's number one. Yeah. It's funny how that changes. When I was a chef in my 20s, it was all about ego and what I wanted to do and all that stuff. And then, I have my kids, and it's just, I thought the only thing that mattered in the world was being a chef. I got it tattooed on my knuckles here for life, But once I had kids, I realized, man, it's just there's a lot more out there. There's a lot more out there to do this for, or to cook for and toil over, than just my own ego.
Fill in the blanks. Cooking is
So the younger me would have said cooking is everything. But now I probably have a little more down to earth answer, and I would say cooking is sustenance, you know?
Did you go to culinary school?
No.
No?
I was a cook in the military for 4 years, and I had like a basic school or whatever, but no, never a formal school or anything like that.
So you were just right for the cooking industry.
Yeah, yeah, and I knew who to seek out. So my first chef was Douglas Rodriguez. So I just knew who to look for, knew to just work for the best and you'd be all right. So then, I worked for Kevin Rathbun and stuff like that.
What's interesting is that Kevin, Douglas, and my brother went to school together.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, small world, huh? That's crazy.
Douglas Rodriguez and my brother went to school together. He used to
That's
actually
cool,
come
man.
over. He used to come over to our house for dinner. A great deal.
Really?
He loved
Wow, that's great. I gotta mention that to him next time I see
Now
him.
that you are at home, you can pretty much cook whatever cuisine you like.
Yep. Very true. And I've got all the tools to do it too.
Isn't it difficult to get creative in a restaurant?
It can be, because there's so many factors that you have to take into account, what people are going to like or what they won't like. And then you end up having to, kill your babies, so to speak, on these dishes that you come up with. You have to water them or dumb them down just to sell them.
In this concept that you're thinking of doing, could you see yourself producing just a small menu and here it is?
Yeah, that's
it.
That's the idea. Yep, that's absolutely right.
That-
Because I remember sitting at the bar at Sound Table with you one time, and you said to me, Joey, just cook what you want to cook. And that's always stuck with me. Just cook what you want to cook. That was 10 years ago, but that's something that you definitely imparted on me, was for sure. But we don't have that luxury. It's interesting. There's no other artistic medium that involves so much outside criticism. You wouldn't walk up to Jean-Michel Basquiat and say, oh, that brown would look better there. Or, a musician, you wouldn't tell, Led Zeppelin that you should put this note here. But for cooking, it seems to be perfectly reasonable for people to nitpick and tell you what you need to be doing.
When I did my first restaurant, I had the 10 commandments. And one of them was, the customer's always wrong.
Yes.
And 2 was, number 1 applies.
That sounds perfect to me. The customer never knows what they really want. So you try and save them from themselves, but it ends up with you with the egg on your face.
And if you create something on the plate, how can I say no?
Right.
Right? Let's forget the creativity of the bullshit of, why the hell a menu?
That's a good question. I don't know. I guess that's the way to bridge the communication gap between the kitchen and the dining room. I guess that's the best way we know how to do it. It might not be the best way possible, but I think it's what we know, and that's what we rely on. You can't automate things like salt, or you can't automate, it's just not, it doesn't make sense that way, because let's say the mushrooms you got grew near the ocean, there's going to be a higher salinity there, right? We have to consider that. So the same amount of salt for ones that were grown in the middle of Georgia, it's not going to take the same amount. So you just can't automate food like that. You can't automate nature like that. That's the funny thing is, all of our hard work literally turns to shit, right? And I mean, and so that being the case, when you don't have necessarily something tangible to show for it, I guess that's where the lack of respect, I think, comes from. The restaurant industry is unlike anything else in the world, man. It really is.
What kind of a business model is there?
I don't know. That's what I'm disillusioned with, because you know what I mean? I don't want to take advantage of these young cooks either and have them end up like me. But what's the way? How do you know what I mean? How do you pay them the proper amount that they can live off of and still be happy and all that? You know, the best restaurants in the world survive on slave labor. That's just a fact, you know? I mean, I've partaken in it myself, you know, there are tons of restaurants where I gave them 3 hours a day off the clock every day I came to work, because that's what you did.
That's what you get, and also that was expected.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see the industry move to where it's, you know, just a bunch of tiny restaurants where the chef is just going off on, you know, 5 or 6 things, and it becomes more of when, you know, a couple is trying to figure out where they're going out to eat, instead of, you know, whatever the hottest restaurant is, it's whose menu do you feel like eating tonight? You know, it's not about the press that someone's gotten, it's about the actual food that's being produced. And, you know, I think that would be a great future in my mind, where, yeah, just people can do what they want to do on a smaller scale that's not killing them. Talking about a complete overhaul of how we've been doing things for 30, 40 years now, you know? Yeah, I mean, what we pay cooks in general is just criminal. Or what we know, what cooks get paid is just criminal for the work that they do, especially, you know, a great cook. It's awful. It's awful. And I really didn't want to be a part of that anymore. Illogical thinking is the only way we get out of this mess. You know, we have to do the exact opposite of what we've been doing or what's logical, right? That's the only way to make it out of it. Yeah.
Logical doesn't make sense.
No, well, you know, a lot of people get hurt with logical. A lot of people, you know, there's a lot of collateral damage when you're thinking logical. Yeah, I mean, the only way to undo that is thinking in ways that we haven't thought before. It's such an upside down industry. It's such an upside down world that we came up in. You know, if you don't know how to love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And we're just a bunch of, you know, for a while, we're just a bunch of man children running around just incapable of love. It's funny because, you know, these food critics, they don't care. They don't care about the human beings that they're you know, they're laying waste to with their words. And it's just an unfair relationship with not just the critics, but, you know, diners as well. It's an unfair relationship. That's what we need to move to. Like I said, and then it becomes, you know, instead of who got the best review, it's whose menu seems the most appealing to you. Oh, this kid over here, he's going off right now. We should go check him out, you know, or whatever it is. That I feel like the people who are doing it for the love, like I said, are the ones that need to be rewarded. The only thing I regret is helping to perpetuate where we've come to now. That's the only thing. But, you know, when I just, to my credit, that's what we knew. That's all we knew. We didn't think about things illogically, right? We thought we followed what was done to us when we were coming up.
This question is a little bit off the wall. Chef Zelinka, would you consider yourself a lunatic?
Oh, yeah. Proudly. Absolutely. Because the world needs more lunatics. The sane people are the ones that are screwing everything up. Absolutely. Without a question, I'm a lunatic.